Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and welcome to another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Now today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and it's not something I actually do talk about a lot, but seeing as this has been floating around quite a bit, and it does kind of seem legit, let's talk about the apparent Mortal Kombat 11 leaks that recently have been floating about for like the last week or so, and what this could entail for the next game. Because for those of you who aren't too familiar with me, I'm not just a fan of the Mortal Kombat lore and series, but I'm also a massive fighting game buff. And Mortal Kombat X is where my competitive streak kind of started, so I'll be analysing this from both a gameplay perspective, a story perspective, and generally whatever else that kind of turns up on here. I haven't been looking at the list and I haven't listened to anyone else's opinions properly, as I did want to go into this kind of unbiased and talk about the subject with no field of view kind of obscuring mine. But anyway, let's talk about this apparent leak that turned up earlier on in the week. Now might I do say, do take this with like a grain of salt, because this could indeed just be completely fake. But I'm also saying that I'm pretty sure there's some news that recently released regarding Lego Incredibles, as well as Lego DC villains, and it was shown off post this being released. So there is some form of validity here, and of course some of the stuff as we have seen has been revealed already. Now at the very bottom here we do have NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat, which there'll be an apparent reveal set for Combo Breaker. Now again, for those of you who are a little bit unfamiliar with like the competitive scene with like fighting games and NetherRealm games in general, the Combo Breaker event is basically kind of NetherRealm Studios Super Bowl. I understand we have EVO, but NetherRealm this year for the first time is having Mortal Kombat 9, X, and Injustice 2, which are 3 of the 4 notable games the studio has produced. So really it's kind of a haven for competitive Mortal Kombat players. Now this bullet point will also be the one that kind of solidifies whether or not this actually is real, and that is because Combo Breaker actually takes place today. The video I'm uploading now will probably be out before the event starts, if I can finish editing it on time, but Combo Breaker is happening this weekend, and if we don't see this apparent reveal set, then we'll have a rough idea of whether or not this is kind of true. Now in saying that, what can we expect from Combo Breaker this weekend, outside of just the Mortal Kombat 9, X, and Injustice 2 tournaments? Well, most likely a teaser trailer, or a full-blown trailer, because a few years back we did have that one for Mortal Kombat X, where Scorpion was fighting Sub-Zero in the Deadwoods, and since let's face it, it's the Mortal Kombat series, if the supposed leak is true, then the next trailer we will see will show off some stuff for Mortal Kombat 11. Now what was very interesting about X's trailer is that it actually displayed a lot of stuff we did see in game. It shows the use of interactables, the return of X-rays, and a mechanic I really enjoyed in X, the run button, which was a tool that was utilized in really cool ways in competitive scenes with like the run cancels. So from what you can probably tell here, I'd actually quite like to see this mechanic return. Now I'm saying that if we don't get like a CG trailer between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, as well it's a Mortal Kombat trailer, let's face it, they're always fighting each other, we'll probably get a logo reveal, which would be quite nice, as I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like at this point. Now for me mentioning the big event of Combo Breaker, I will say that the possibility of it being revealed this weekend is kind of possible, as I believe it's the first time they've had this many NetherRealm studio games all in one place at kind of a major tournament. So yeah, I will say it's definitely a possibility, but again, like I said, just try to be hesitant about this. They've also said that there will be a gameplay trailer at a Sony press conference, which I'm not going to really touch on or mention anything yet, because the Combo Breaker reveal needs to be solid in stone. So until that happens, I don't think a Sony press conference with a gameplay trailer will happen. But like I said, if one does, then it probably will. If it doesn't, then it probably will. Now here's a very interesting one, and that is that the tag team mode will be returning. To which I say, hell yes, tag team mode in MK9 was absolutely broken, but was absolutely amazing. The one thing that NetherRealm Studio games do extremely well is kind of give the more casual crowd a very fun way of playing with their friends. Hence why I always welcome the idea of the daily living towers, as well as the whole test your luck thing, because let's face it, it's very silly, but it is very fun, and it never hurts to have a bit of a casual party mode added into your game, especially with many fighting games kind of straying from it, like Tekken 7 and even Street Fighter for that matter. So it's kind of nice that NRS are still playing up to their traditions and realizing how kind of silly their games are and how they kind of play up to it. Now how valid do I think this is? Well, I think it is very valid, but I do have my worries. The variation system in MKX was extremely complex for the studio to balance out. Word is that it was an absolute pain, so whether or not variations will return is something we have to wait and see. Me myself, I'm pretty sure I've been very open to saying I really enjoyed the variation system and I would love to see it come back, but I do have a feeling if this tag team mechanic is an actual thing, then the variation system might be something that actually does does go away, which would be a shame because the variation system really allowed MKX to be very unique. But also saying that, what could tag team mode do for the game? Well, it would actually help it appeal a lot more to how games are currently going in the fighting game scene. Again, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the whole kind of tag team fighting game genre thing is kind of blowing up a little bit at the moment, with games like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the critically acclaimed Dragon Ball FighterZ, and even BlazBlue or BlazBlue Cross Tag coming out in a few months' time. The whole tag team fighter market may be something that NRS kind of play into, because the idea of the tag team mode in MK9 was absolutely phenomenal. It was thoroughly enjoyable despite it kind of being broken, and to prove my point, here's a tag team combo of Cyrax and Scorpion that OTGs and does pretty much 90% damage. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. So I would like to see it as long as it's not like, you know, broken. Because the tag team mode was really good. And there was a lot of really cool formulas and synergies you could really get going between characters. But like I mentioned, just a lot of it was broken. Damage didn't really scale properly. You could OTG and continue attacking people. It was broken, but that didn't stop it from being fun. But with fighting games spilling over into a competitive esports scene now, they obviously can't have all of those broken ideas in there. So if they solved out those kinks, the whole tag team mode could be a welcome replacement for the variation system, but personally they'd seriously have to impress me. Plus it would actually kind of work in this part of Mortal Kombat where we're at. You see, we're in the somewhat deadly alliance era, so a team based fighter like this would kind of work, especially if the main bosses were Revenant, Liu Kang and Kitana, and they both coexisted on a team together. So do keep that in mind, as I think it's a really cool idea of how they'd structure like a semi-boss fight before you get to the end boss, which may be someone like, I don't know, super dark energy powered Raiden. Yeah, I'm just making it up on the spot from what you can tell, but I feel like the tag team mechanic would be a really cool addition to the game. I just kind of hope it doesn't result in the removal of the variation system, but if it does, then no biggie. I'd be very interested to see how they kind of utilize a tag team mechanic and work in and out of combos. It'd just be really fun and cool to kind of see. Now going to the last bullet point, it says that we'll have a beta to test out some of the mechanics. Now this is NetherRealm Studios, they are notorious for actually putting out betas. So it's pretty safe to say that this is definitely gonna happen. They did it for MKX when they were doing the whole PC mode, as well as a beta for Injustice 2 last year. So a beta will most definitely be on the way, but it will most likely happen much later down the line, when they're probably about halfway through the roster, and they'll want people to test out the servers and see the connection that they're getting. Because that for the most part is why they put out these free betas for people to try. It's a good opportunity for new people to get an idea of what they're getting themselves into, and also helps NetherRealm Studios kind of sort out their netcode before the game's actual release. So yeah, this is a given. Let's say it's all completely revealed during EVO or E3 this year. The earliest would probably get a beta is probably around Christmas. That's me being extremely generous. Or February next year, 2 months before NetherRealm Studio games drop, which is usually late April. So I think that's the time window of when all of this will be sorted out. But yeah, this covers all of the rumors from the apparent leak. I'm saying that with air quotes because we should take this with a grain of salt, because if we learned anything from Soul Calibur 6 is that from all of the apparent leaks we've got are from sources we can't entirely trust too well. So do take this with a grain of salt, but also tune into Combo Breaker this weekend. I sadly will not be there as much as I'd love to be, but a bunch of UK lads that I'm very good friends with are going round there to play this weekend. Show them some support and there will be a lot of fan favourites and faces you'll be able to recognise, like Sonic Fox, Goichi, Scar. I'm pretty sure Honeybee will be there, if you are a fan of his Flash, which I don't blame you. But yeah, please do keep an eye out for that on Twitch this weekend, or even today for that matter. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video, guys. I do want to say again, thank you for all of the Mortal Kombat 11 support this channel has received recently. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and you can expect to see more in the future. I don't normally cover leaks on this channel, but this one seems kind of valid, and I'll only be covering leaks or teasers that I feel are kind of legit, so don't expect to see these too much. Now before this video wraps up, guys, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's a great way of supporting this channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell. By giving it a thumbs up, it helps out a ton. And if you want to go that extra step, we also have a Patreon set up, and a link for it will be down in the description below. Anyway guys, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.